Hey everybody, Sharon here from VidGamiac.com. Here we are today in Gynoug, and we are going for every single achievement in the game. This one's going to be another Messiah Mega Drive port, so thankfully we are able to use cheats. Go into options, and then go down to cheats, and then which one of these you want to make sure you turn everything on. Retain weapons, unlimited credits, infinite lives, infinite magic, and invincible. Once you have all of those boxes checked, make sure you head back, and then we're going to start up the game. Then once you get into the game, make sure you don't press any buttons just yet. Just let the opening scene play out. We are going to want to get to the opening menu. We are going to head into the actual in-game options, and then we are going to turn the difficulty down to easy. You can also give yourself extra lives if you want to. It shouldn't really matter since you're invincible anyways. So just make sure you set game level to easy, and then players all the way up to 5, and then just make sure you exit, and then we are actually going to start up the game. So the game is going to be a horizontal 2D shoot 'em up. In fact, it was released back in the day on the Sega Genesis as Wings of War. So two types of achievements in this game. The first is for beating every single stage. You get an achievement for beating each stage, and there are a total of 6 stages. In addition to those, there are going to be the achievements for putting up a certain amount of points, ending with 1 million. So you are going to have to actually play the game a bit, but keep in mind you are invincible thanks to those cheats. So all you have to do is just keep the A button held, no turbo controller needed for this one, thankfully, and then just fly up and down and try to kill as many enemies as possible and shoot for the 1 million points. So as long as you are staying consistent with your kills, you should be able to get the 1 million points before starting the last stage, so there is a bit of a room for a margin of error, so you don't have to be absolutely perfect. That being said, you should get your first milestone achievement for hitting 50,000 points very close to the start of the game. Once you start this crescendo of enemies, it's going to be for 10 gamer score. A little bit after that, you should be good for the 100,000 milestone, and that one's going to be for 20 gamer score. Then we're just going to wrap up the first stage. In typical shoot 'em up fashion, the stages are going to end with a boss fight. All you have to do is just find where the boss fight's weak spot is, and then just use your bullets and invincibility to take them out super swiftly, and then we should clear the stage. Stages are going to be called rounds in this game for whatever reason, but you should get an achievement for 50 gamer score for finishing up the first one. Then on to stage 2, you should get the 250,000 milestone pretty shortly after starting this stage, and that one's going to give you the achievement for 30 gamer score. We should be good for the 500,000 mark, which is going to be the halfway point after defeating the stage 3 mini boss, and that's going to give us the milestone achievement for 60 gamer score. A little ways in to stage 4, and you should be good for the milestone for hitting 750,000 points, and the achievement that goes along with that for 80 gamer score. 3/4 of the way through for points now. So the million points should occur once we defeat the first mini boss in stage 5. So just make sure you keep up with that. Stage 5 is going to contain a ton of mini bosses, so good opportunities for big points right here. But you should get the 1 million sooner rather than later, and that's going to wrap it up for points. We should be good for 100 gamer score. Then you can kind of sit back and relax a bit. You don't have to worry about the normal enemies anymore. So just sit back and only turn your focus on to the mini bosses and the stage bosses. Then we're going to be on to stage 6, which is pretty much only going to be bosses. The first set are going to be pretty easy. A lot of them are repeats from the earlier stages, but the tough part of the game and the only really challenging part of the game is going to be the end game boss. And the reason that the last boss of the game is so challenging is because it's going to be invincible for most of the fight. Its hitbox is going to be its heart in the middle. However, you are not allowed to damage it constantly. You're going to have to wait until the game allows you to damage it. Unfortunately, there's not going to be any triggers that allow you to damage it, so you kind of have to just sit and wait around until you can hit it. So my best advice is to just constantly shoot it, and then eventually the boss should die. This fight takes about 5 minutes or so it's a little on the long side. So be very, very patient with this one, but eventually once you land enough hits that the game allows you to, you should be good for the fight, and you should be good for the last stage of the game. Once you manage to defeat it, you're going to get the last cutscene, so make sure you let that play out, and you should be good for the last achievement. This entire game takes about a little under 45 minutes or so a pretty easy completion since you don't really have to do much work, and you are invincible for the whole time. But nonetheless, that's going to be all of the achievements. Enjoy your easy completion. And that's all there is to it.